What's up in War Eagle, War Report family? It's your guy, Ike Jones. We are back with another edition of Building Rapport, and coming back through to holler at us is the coach of the women's basketball team for Auburn University, Coach Johnnie Harris. Coach Harris, how you doing today? Yeah, War Eagle.
Good.
Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time today to talk about Auburn and the state of the women's basketball program. First of all, congratulations on moving the program forward, which when we talked last time, you were confident that you were going to be able to do this year two, moving the program forward, getting more SEC wins. Very much glad that you are moving the program in the direction that you want to, but definitely congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you. Now we did have a lot of adversity. We didn't finish where we want to. We had a lot of injuries to our top two scorers. So we had our top two scorers missed 9 games.
Right.
And a lot of those games we still played close, but it's just really hard when you have a new program and you're trying to compete. And I had a lot of freshmen last year. So it was kind of tough when you have those two out. But I thought our team got better and better over the season. And then, yeah, we were still able to get 5 wins. We, really felt like we left about 3 or 4 of them out there that we probably would have won had we had a full squad.
Yeah, no, I think that you guys did a great job shorthanded for a lot of, between the injuries to Koulibaly and Scott Grayson and Romy Levy missing some time, right? Like you guys had a lot of things. Richardson missed significant time through the season, right? Like you had a lot of things that didn't go your way as far as trying, because, talent wise, the SEC is amazing, right?
It is.
Missing the top end of your roster for a portion of the season is never going to be easy. But coming back next season, I did not expect, listen, if you would have asked me at any point, was Honesty Scott Grayson going to come back for another year? I'd have been like, nah, man, she's out of here. She's going to go on with coming back for another year. Honesty Scott Grayson, what was that conversation like getting on back on the squad for next season?
It was so she always had that invitation. But she was actually really being looked at by the WNBA, and she had, we had coaches calling and very interested in her. But at the end of the season, she came to me and she said, Coach, I really want to help get this program to an NCAA tournament. We felt like we may have had a chance to do it before the season last year, but we, she that's something that she really want to do. She loves Auburn.
Right.
She want to see this program, back to where it used to be. And she just said, we have more work to do, and I want to be here to help you get that done. So very unselfish. She's one of the most unselfish kids I've ever coached. And that's just in her heart. That's what she wanted to do. And, of course, we welcomed her back.
Yeah. I mean, listen, she is definitely a dynamic athlete out there on the court. I love the season that she put together. Hopefully she can stay off of the injury report.
She was playing some of her best basketball before she got injured.
Yeah.
I mean, she was putting up, in the 20s and 30 points, and, her shooting percent, she was shooting over 50% from the 3. And, she was our main 3-point shooter. So it wasn't like she was only taking a couple. She was in the gym working when she had that foot injury and then went home and then re-injured it in the car accident that really set her back.
Yeah.
So her elevation, her explosiveness and all of that, and it took her a while to get back, and she still gutted it out. She gave us what she had. But I really believe that if she come back with the focus that she had last summer, she'll be even better.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like for her. Now, you mentioned this, and it wasn't necessarily a part of what I wanted to talk about, but I think it's an interesting place where the W is in right now, right? Where a lot of young women, and I think looking at how that's playing out for some of the ladies who did get drafted and not eventually making those rosters, I think it was a good decision for her to come back for another year to potentially boost her draft stock, have another year potentially going out there, finding some ways to make money via NIL. But can you talk about kind of the the situation that some of these young women are facing with trying to decide, do they return to school for another year, or do they make that, like, how is that conversation evolving as the new realities change for what that means?
It is a reality, and unless they either add more people to the squads, even right now they have 12,
Mm.
Or they expand the league and add more teams. There's just not. It's hard to get spots because
Right.
you talk about vets, but there's still 3 and 4 year players that have finished 3-4 years ago. They're still waiting to get in. They're playing
Right.
overseas and they're waiting to get in. So that list is long, and the younger you are, the harder it is to get in, because you have people that have been pros that's playing against pros that are, like I said, still waiting for their opportunity. They're having to go overseas to play. So yeah, it's harder and harder unless you're just part of that elite group.
Right.
It's really hard. So yeah, we have frank conversations, and some of them want to hear it, some of them do not. But you want them to have that opportunity. You want them to have that opportunity to get drafted. My conversation is be ready.
Right.
And I felt like Honesty came back. She worked her butt off, and I felt like she was ready until she had the injury.
Right.
And so that's what my conversations are like. But
Okay.
now, after you have that injury, and you're not at the top of your game, if you have a year left, it should be a no brainer,
Right.
for these players now.
Yeah, take advantage of that additional year to
Mhm.
get your stock up a little bit more. What
Yeah.
are the opportunities there though for, like, what's the overseas game like? I mean, I don't really keep up with women's
Well, yeah,
basketball
the
too much.
opportunities are there to go overseas. So, and for the most part, I think players make more money overseas than they do in the
Mm.
W anyway. So that's why it's now a year round deal. And so when those players from the WNBA, when they come back from overseas, they have been playing. They're
Mhm.
in shape. They have been playing against pros. So it's hard for a collegiate athlete to just go in and take their spot.
Right.
So that's the challenge for a player coming out of college now. They will have the opportunity to go overseas. There's a lot of spots, and get a good agent and get in a good spot. You'll be taken care of, and then you can go and prepare to come back and compete to get in the league.
Okay. Okay. Well, listen, I
Right.
again think that Honesty Scott Grayson is talented. She's going to have a good year if she can remain healthy for Auburn next year. But let's talk about the team that's going to be surrounding her a little bit. You guys have been doing work to get, I mean, between the freshmen that you've brought in and the transfer portal players, there's a
Hmm.
lot of talent, a lot more height on this team, really
Yes.
1 through 5, that you're going to be
Yes.
adding. So, I'll let you go in whatever order you want to, but let's talk about some of the newcomers that you're excited about and what they're going to bring to the program.
Okay, I'm excited about every last one of them. Like you said, we signed we have 8 newcomers. We signed 2 earlier, and I'll start talking about them.
Hmm.
They were post players because that's what we felt like we needed.
Right.
So we have a 6'4" and 6'5" post players coming in. They are freshmen, but both of them are skilled. They played in the Nike circuit. Well, one played in the Nike circuit, one played on the Under Armour circuit with really good programs, and just good kids from great families, and they just want to come in here and compete. But we
Right.
really did need that height.
Yeah.
And
Listen,
then
that was one of the things that we talked about when we last spoke, was just the need to have players playing in their natural positions, right? So
yes.
that you needed more height to be able to do that. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, and so then we went out, and so we got some junior college players, and 2 All-Americans, in McKenna and Celia. So they are players that we feel like can come in and help us right away. Again, long athletic guards.
Right.
Celia is 6'2". She can shoot the three, get to the hole. She can defend the way we want to defend. Um, just has a really good all around game. will come in, really early and work with these kids on their strength. McKenna is another one, long 6 foot guard that can shoot it. She was at the two. She played the two, so she was out there stroking it this year. But she's also a kid that can get to the rim. She can defend. She can just do a multiple of things, and she can play a multiple of positions. So I really like that about those two kids.
And then I know you had the transfer player from Alabama. Is she going to be? And 'cause this is a question I like. Who's going to probably be playing a lot of point guard? Because that was another thing that we had talked about before.
Yeah. So between her and Marshawn Bostic coming back, because I really do believe Marshawn the last few games of the season just really exploded and learned how to do what she does best in our system. And how to look for other people and how to distribute the ball. She was a work in progress last year, but I think she's coming back and she'll be a lot better this year. But yes, Mingo, she has that toughness. I recruited her to Mississippi State as a freshman, so she has played for us before. And I just felt like we needed that toughness. We needed somebody that wasn't afraid, that would go out, and she's a competitor. She got a lot done, so really, really excited to have her.
Yeah, I think that the veteran leadership with her coming in, and then with Honesty still being there on the floor, that team should have a lot more composure this year. And then, like I said, you got some more height. I'm excited. Listen, I'm a big fan of Bostic. I think she's got a really good game. Defensively, just really tenacious, and that's one of the things I think I really liked about the team in general. The identity that you're putting together for this team on defense is one that I'm excited about Auburn for the future. Glad to have some more height as well in there, because that, the rebounding I think was a big issue last year. So
yeah, speaking of rebounding, we got Taylon Collins from Oklahoma State, and she is a tenacious rebounder. She played 4 and 5, which she'll play probably 3 and 4 for us. But she's just a kid that she had games where she had 24 rebounds or 18 rebounds, and she's another kid that's extremely athletic, that can get to the hole. She has the mid-range jumper. She want to expand her game. She's hungry. So I think she's gonna also she's a transfer, but she has 2 years. So she's graduated, but she has 2 years to play. She could play 1, but she could also play 2. So she's a kid that we feel like can come in here. I take that back. She hasn't graduated yet. She'll graduate at the end of this year, but then she could stay for her grad transfer year as well. But she's a kid that has been in the Big 12. She was one of the top players there. I've gotten nothing but good feedback from her. A lot of people wanted her, but she she chose us, and I think she's going to be a great addition to this group we have coming in. And then also Kiki, coming from she's from Columbus, but she comes to us from Clemson. And she is a player that absolutely fit our system. She's tough. She can finish at the rim. When we played Clemson, she's out there dunking in warm-ups. So she's a kid that we're really excited about. I feel like she can get out in passing lanes. And one of the things that we do a lot is we can get stops. What we didn't do well is transition that into buckets.
Right.
So if we're stopping people, we want to stop people, 35% of the time. That means 65% of the time, probably 60, somewhere between 50 and 60, we're going in transition. Some of them going to be dead balls, but we're going a lot in transition. We didn't convert. We could be 3-on-1 and didn't convert. So that's where I think the kids that we brought in excel, and they'll help us there.
The 3-point shooting was something that was kind of up and down for this team. When you guys were shooting the ball well, I feel like you could play with anybody in the country, right? But the games where it wasn't dropping for you, you didn't really have another way to generate offense, which, again, the height and the rebounding are going to help you in those things. But talk to me a little bit about some of the things that you feel like you learned in year 2 about just the style of, whether it's your coaching style or whether it is some of the players that are coming back that are going to help you transition to year 3.
Yeah, and before I do that, there was one other player I want to mention, and we signed her late, and that's Shakaya Milton. She's a 6'4", long, athletic. She'll play 4 for us, but this is a kid who can also shoot the 3. If she's playing, she'll play some 5 as well, but she can shoot the 3. She can stretch it. She can get around people, but she's a rim protector, a shot blocking. Just monster. And that's another one that we felt like really, really fit. We felt like we went out and got players that fit our system. And I feel like that's going to help us a lot. And, that's what one of the biggest things I learned and coming from last year that I want to make sure, I wanted to make sure we had for this year. And that was players that fit, players that are bought in, players that, because it's easy to say, hey, I want to play fast. It's easy to say, I want to play this pressure defense, but it's not easy when you have to practice and get and prepare for it. So you have to be bought into it. You have to trust the process. It's a process. And so one of the biggest things I learned was, make sure these kids know that this is the way, this is the way that they naturally play. This is what I saw when recruiting them, but this is what it takes to get there at this level. And so now you have a choice. So coming here, how we want to play. Right. So there's not going to be any question about how much we run, about how tough practices are and all of that. So I had to go out and get players that are built for it, that are, that will embrace it. And that's only going to help them get better. Our players that are coming back, they already know what to expect.
Right.
But one of the things that I did tell them is we're going to have a new standard. I haven't had the players that were bought in to doing it every day, which is why sometimes you saw us play exactly how I want to play. And sometimes I'm over there begging them to play harder. Playing hard, effort is non-negotiable. And our players that are coming in, our players that are returning understand that. And that's from day one. So I'm really excited about this team because of that.
Where do you feel like, and I hope I do not butcher this young lady's name, Akinbolawa? Am I saying her name correctly? How do you feel like her progression has been? Because that was one of the things when we talked last, you were excited about just kind of the raw ability that she had. She's got a lot of height, but she still was trying to learn the game a little bit more. Do you feel like she's getting into the place where she's going to be able to contribute a little bit more? Another big body on the inside.
She has been working. When I'm out, she posts her little videos of herself working. She was the only one here doing that break. And the kid she's working. She's a kid that really, really wanted. You saw some, like you said, some raw natural abilities. She was aggressive, but she didn't have that strength yet. I think she's been working on that. She's been working on her footwork and finishing, and really that's all we need her to do. That's what we need out of our 5 players. Right. You have to do your job before you can extend and do something else. So I think she's really, she know what we are looking for, what we need. And that kid has been working her butt off. So I'm really excited to see her put that together. And the good thing is we get to take this team to Paris, to France, in August. So we'll have some extra workouts this summer. We'll be able to work on our chemistry, work on, putting things together a little bit earlier this year. And I think that's really important, especially for a team of, 8 new players.
Yeah. I mean, a really important question here is, how can I go on this trip to Paris with you guys so I can make sure that we got some good media coverage?
I
That's
know
important.
we need some good media coverage. I don't know. We'll have to work on that. If not, maybe I can take an extra big long suitcase and
Hey,
kind of show
listen,
you.
I sleep on flights anyway. I just, I'll sleep and chill out till we get there. You know what I'm saying? But no, last couple players I want to ask about because I liked the maturation of them. Sydney Shaw, right? Like
Mhm.
I loved her game and the confidence that she grew over the season and figuring out how to get to her shot, taking her shot a little bit more. Wish, that she had a little bit more. And listen, you can tell me if you feel like I'm wrong. I feel like the biggest thing for her is just the confidence to say, like, you could play with these girls, like go out there and play ball, right? So talk about Sydney Shaw a little bit in her maturation.
Yeah. So first of all, that kid, nobody outworks her.
Mm,
Like, she's trying to win every race in practice. She is that kid. So, just super excited about that for her and being able to. So one of the things that I had to do with her was kind of hone in because she wanted to do so many things.
mm,
Well, Sydney, you have to do work on your shot, work on making this shot before you try to go and do something else.
mm,
She was looking down and trying to do the Steph thing and all of that, and eh, eh, I just told her to just focus on your shot first. Let's focus on your shot. And once she did that, she settled in. I felt like and got a lot better, a lot more confidence.
mm-hmm.
I feel like her confidence came when she started seeing that shot go
Right.
through. So it wasn't a lot that she changed, other than her mindset of, I have to go and create my shot. I have to do this, that, and the other. No, let's focus on you hitting the shot that that's open for you first.
Mm-hmm.
Recognizing when you're open and when you need to take a shot. Um, Recognizing when it's a good shot and when it's a bad shot. So that was the first thing I focused on with her, and I thought she got a lot better. Um, Over the postseason, we worked on her footwork, we worked on her pull-up jumper, and it looked a lot better. So I just think she has a big upside. I think she's ready to take that next step and be one of the premier scorers on this team. For a while I didn't have a true point guard.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel like I had a true point guard ready, but Sydney went out and won that position. But she's not a true point guard.
Yeah.
She want to score the ball.
Right.
So now that I'm able to move her off the ball, I think she'll be a lot better, because she know what I need. She know what it takes to get that shot off in the SEC. That was an eye opener for her. But she's one of those kids when if she fail at something or she's not doing well, she's gonna get in the gym and work it out.
Awesome.
And she's done that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. And then lastly, Caitlin Duhan, right? Like I think she is one of the other girls that I love her defensive prowess. She's just really she's tenacious on defense and looking forward to seeing the maturation of her. Just give me a couple of thoughts on Caitlin.
Yeah, Caitlin can absolutely take over a ball game on the defensive end, and she has. When we've been working with her on her shot, and again, uh, the more you practice, the more you see that ball go through the hole, the more confidence you have. But it's her picking her spot. Sometimes, you're open for a reason, and I think she had to learn that. Nobody can keep her from getting to her spot. So, she had a green light from anywhere in the paint.
Hmm.
If you get to the paint, jump up and shoot it. Yeah, because she could do that. It was just a lot of times she settled,
Hmm.
and so that was our biggest battle, getting her to focus on, hey, get to your spot. Get to your spot. Nobody can stop you from doing that. You know, sometimes in transition she would get stops, but you know, she's not confident going in there finishing. So we worked on a lot of that. And like I said, Coach Fred worked with her and Marshawn a lot on their shot. People don't, a lot of time people wouldn't guard them. You know, when we played in WNIT and we played against Clemson, they bagged off of Marshawn. She got 18 layups. Now she went 11 for 18. So it doesn't matter if people back off of you. They're so quick and so fast, they can still get to their spot. So
Marshawn had a monster game that game.
Oh yeah, she had a monster game on both ends of the floor. You know, I really felt like we would have made it to that Sweet 16 game if AC doesn't get knocked out and Carissa, both of them, you know, they were gone, but with 5 minutes left, we ended up losing by 1. But that was a big, you know, now we're going deep into our bench, and it was just a little tough for us.
Right. Yeah. But no, I loved and I think that was kind of, you know, hopefully she can take that momentum Marshawn can from what she had in that game and grow on that, because she showed me everything in that game. Like you said, defensively, her ability to get into the lane at will. You know, she definitely showed a lot in that game. So if she continues to grow from there.
And I felt like Marshawn grew up a lot last year, and and I felt that way about Duhan. And you know, in Sydney, you know, those kids were freshmen. They got thrown in the fire. Marshawn was a sophomore, but they kind of got thrown in the fire, and they had to go out there and, you know, just kind of figure some things out. You know, there's a lot that you can tell them, but when you get in the SEC, it's a different ball game. So I think they you know, they learned from their experience. You know, our first game was against Ole Miss and we got blasted. But by the time we played them again, we were able to beat them. And it was because of the maturity, the growth, the buy-in from those freshmen. I really believe. Now, you know, we had some upperclassmen that help us, but it was the buy-in from the freshmen, them really now understanding what it takes to compete at that level. So.
Awesome. Well, Coach, I appreciate you giving us a little bit of your time today to talk about the future of Auburn women's basketball. We need to figure out when we're gonna come over and eat, because you said you like to cook. So we got to come over and we got to have a meal. You know what I'm saying? Because I like to eat, you like to cook. It sounds like a good pairing right there.
That's right.
No, we're definitely looking forward to seeing what you guys have coming up here in year 3 under Coach Johnnie Harris. And again, appreciate your time today.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, if you guys want more content like this, you know you need to lock in right here with the War Rapport. Guy Ike Jones bringing you all the great content. We are the War Rapport on most social media platforms, TW Report on TikTok. That's it. We're signing off until the next time. And as always, War Eagle.
War Eagle.